All right. Up next, we got a white liberal turned conservative who admits that they dumbed themselves down to talk to black people.
I used to be pretty woke. I had the TDS, the Trump derangement syndrome. I thought everybody who voted for Donald Trump was a racist. All that changed when I encountered a Yale study in 2018. The study found that there was a difference between how white liberals and white conservatives talk when they talk to black people. And when I saw the headline, I was jubilant. We got 'em. That's what I thought. Turns out the opposite was true. The study found that when white liberals talk to black people, they do something called presenting lower competence. They dumb down their vocabulary using fewer syllables than they do when they talk to white people. And white conservatives don't do this. I remember seeing the study and thinking with horror, and we liberals call conservatives racist? What could be more racist than the patronizing view that black people need to be protected from our big vocabularies? Yet it was this patronizing view that minorities are oppressed and in need of saving that I could suddenly see was at play in much of the progressive worldview. It caused me to think, well, if I'm wrong about conservatives being racist, what else might I be wrong about? A lot, it turns out.
Most black people who vote liberal have not really taken a hard look at liberal white people. Like a real hard look at the people that they're aligning themselves with. See, black people, we have a singular focus, and so we want reparations. Liberals keep promising us that, but we don't know what else we're attaching ourselves to, and we don't understand how liberal white people actually view us. They don't view us as equals. They view us as less than because of their white privilege. It's called white guilt.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm back. I had to take like a 2-day break. It's not easy every single day, but I appreciate y'all watching my videos and interacting with me. But anyway, let's get into it. Earlier today, right, I saw a video from News Nation, and the title said something along the lines of white liberal people dumb themselves down when talking to black people. I'm gonna play the clip later. However, yes, to a certain degree, I do agree. For example, I remember back in 2016 when Hillary Clinton was running against Trump. Hillary Clinton got on the Breakfast Club, right? And she said something along the lines of, yeah, I carry hot sauce in my purse. When I heard her say that, I was just thinking to myself, okay, and bitch, what the fuck does that got to do with anything? With like, I should vote for you because you, mind you, I do like hot sauce, but I'm not gonna vote for you because you fucking carry hot sauce in your purse. What the fuck does that got? What the?
I don't think that he's understanding though, and I hope he get there, but I don't think he understanding that Hillary Clinton is worlds away from connecting with him. That's why she lost. We're talking about everyday average white liberals. The average motherfucker that live that's to the left and right of you, that white motherfucker, they are the ones that you need to be thinking about. But I'm gonna let him keep going.
Bitch, how the fuck does that help me do anything? But then, now that I think about it, that reminded me of a show I used to watch back in the day. The show was called Everybody Hates Chris. Now, for those of you who don't know about Everybody Hates Chris, the show is based off the comedian Chris Rock and how he grew up in Brooklyn in the 1980s. Chris had this one English teacher. I forgot her name. I think her name was Miss Manut, so like some kind of Italian.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, my bad.
Her character is based off a white liberal. And here's the thing: like white liberals, a lot of y'all really don't know this. White liberals are racist too, but it's more like a bubbly racist.
Yeah.
One episode, right? Chris had trouble writing an essay, and he was talking to it with his friend. Do you know what his teacher came up to him and said? She said, quote, "Chris, if you're having trouble writing an essay, you should turn it into a rap." Swear to God, she said it just like that. And white liberals don't know that it's offensive and that you're low-key being racist towards us. But anyway, moving.
See, that's your fucking problem right there. You think that they don't know. It's white guilt, but they know inside of their heart and soul that they're superior to you. You keep giving them the benefit of the doubt for what?
And then you fast forward to when Kamala Harris was running for office. This is how low Democrats think of black people. And to a certain degree, yeah, they should think this lowly of us because like we entertain the bullshit. Remember when Kamala Harris like brought out Meg Thee Stallion like during one of her speeches, and just twerking and gyrating her ass all over the place. Black people, listen, that's what they think of you. They think we're so fucking low vibrational that the only way to get our votes or anything or if anything of substance is to do low vibrational shit.
Quick question: did they get our votes? Let me know in the comments.
Now, mind you, thank God Kamala lost in a fucking landslide. Oh God, could you imagine if that bitch would have won? We would have been fucked beyond repair.
It wasn't because of us, I'll tell you that.
But anyway, I'm gonna play that video for you right now from News Nation. Give me 1 second.
I don't really need him to play the video, but he, just like a lot of black people, and is duped by the white man thinking that they don't know what they're doing. White liberals and white conservatives, they two wings on the same bird. They know what they're doing. It's a superiority complex. At least the white conservative would tell you to your face.
Okay, so I know this is going to ruffle some feathers. Said, and please know that I am coming from a place of love, because I know that your efforts come from a good place.
I sense Oreo inside this one right here.
But white liberals, you are not saving the black community. You are holding us back. It's not allyship, it's enabling. You excuse destructive choices, you lower the bar, you hand out sympathy instead of standards, and you call that progress.
Man, white liberals, bro, y'all some dastardly motherfuckers. Know what they do is they attach their agendas onto our civil rights and then use us as mules to push them, like DEI.
Here's the truth that nobody wants to say out loud. We're not the only group with a painful past. Jewish people survived genocide and rebuilt. Asian immigrants came here with nothing and built thriving businesses and schools. We don't hand them safe spaces. We don't rewrite laws to excuse their failures. We don't glorify victimhood for anyone else. So why is that standard different for us? We built an entire system around the lie that black people can't compete, and we call it justice. DEI, affirmative action, safe spaces, watered down schools, and even lighter sentences for crime. That's not empowerment. That's soft bigotry dressed up as compassion, and it's all causing more harm than good to the black community. It whispers you're too weak, too damaged, too broken to do this on your own, and we've accepted that lie for far too long. We don't need your pity. We don't need you to lower the bar. We need to be held to the same standard as everyone else. Because true empowerment doesn't come from being coddled, it comes from being called higher. Charlie Kirk said this over and over again. He asked Black America to stop fixating so much on our race and our difficult history. He encouraged everyone from every background and walk of life to make their past a reference, not their residence. And sadly, his honesty caused him to be labeled a racist, despite the fact that he was simply telling us the hard truth. So here's my challenge for white liberals. Stop lowering the bar for us. Stop designing programs that assume that we can't win without a handicap. If you truly believe in Black excellence, then treat us like the powerful, capable, brilliant people that we are. Stand with us, not over us. Walk beside us, not ahead of us. And Black people, if you're still here, slavery happened, oppression exists, but our history is also full of resilience and brilliance. Research Frederick Douglass and Booker T. Washington and Madam C.J. Walker. We've been free for 150 years, but somehow we feel justified in marinating in our victimhood while holding a $1,000 iPhone, rocking $200 shoes, and having nothing and no one standing in our way but ourselves. Pick up your mat and walk.
I mean, that was cute and all, but I don't think that Black people really understand how America works. And so nobody's doing something for nothing. And for you to think that they're not benefiting from your ignorance is a tragedy. I think that Black people need to understand that this two-party system isn't designed for you to be tribalistic with one and not the other, but it's designed for you to pit them against each other so the free market can determine who deserves your vote based off of what they're willing to give you.
A lot of straight white people are only interested in politics as a hobby. Nowhere is this clearer than when I was at the gym a couple days ago and I was talking to this woman. She's like, yeah, I used to be really interested in politics, and then I realized, why am I stressing myself out like this? It doesn't actually have a really big impact on my life, so I don't really even need to pay attention. So she basically admitted to having like a phase where she was concerned about politics in like 2020 when she was in college, when the Black Lives Matter movements were trending and just generally being woke was trending. And then she gave that up because it was stressing her out too much and she doesn't actually need to focus on it to to become a consultant. And to me, these types of people make...
Why does she keep putting everything in quotes? I don't understand. Like, what is, like, you know, stressing her out? Like, what does that mean? I was getting stressed out. I don't follow politics that deep because it doesn't affect my money either way. If the market goes down, I know how to position myself to be able to buy up fucking shares of stocks that are being fucking dropped down and then catch the wave right back up. I know how money works. I know how America works. So I don't understand, but go ahead.
Terrible friends because they don't truly care about people on a deeper level. It just shows how much of these discussions white people only want to take part in to take the attention away, to be praised for being politically active. Because for a straight white woman living in Chicago, yeah, I mean, there's really not a lot that these policies will do, I suppose, on a day-to-day basis. For them, it's a hypothetical discussion and a debate about morality. It doesn't actually have any real-world implication. The fact that she has a lot of money, even if there are rules that make it harder for her, she could just pay her way out of it and find loopholes. It's fucking crazy. I can't imagine.
So because they're playing the game the right way and winning, you know, we supposed to feel like a victim towards it. Like, this is what I'm talking about. It's the constant onslaught of the propaganda to make black people or people who are disenfranchised feel like victims, when in reality, if she's finding loopholes, we need to be figuring out how the fuck she found those loopholes and how we can find some goddamn loopholes to take advantage of. That's how this country works.
Stop going to white liberals for money and then complaining about their power. Malcolm X said the white liberal is the worst enemy to America and the worst enemy to the black man. The white liberal's purpose is to perpetuate a system that will keep the black man dependent on the white liberal.
Thank you.
Because the truth is, you can't be dependent and free at the same time.
Exactly.
And that's the part nobody wants to say out loud, because once they control the way you think and what you depend on, they don't need chains anymore.
Exactly. They got chains.
But for just a minute, step outside of it. I challenge you. Let's do a little thought exercise. Look at this critically, not emotionally. That's where real freedom starts. Because the more you're emotionally attached to your race, the easier it is to control you.
I'm gonna tell you how they got us though. The emotional attachment, that style of thinking, is a female style of thinking. And guess what? Most black people are all raised by mothers. Easy to control. Women are the easiest ones to influence. I don't know if you know that or not. They just are.
It's realizing we've confused education with indoctrination. The idea that we're inferior and therefore we must receive. That's the last stage of colonization, people. The last chain left on our minds, the insistence that we're inferior. Shelby Seals said inferiority was established through white superiority and that white guilt has infantilized black America, and it's allowed white liberals to act as our caretakers rather than our equals. And the more we tell white people they need to give in order to be racist, the more we'll receive and the more we'll depend and the more we'll reinforce the same lie that we're inferior. And it'll never stop. Because dependency isn't progress, it's slavery dressed up as compassion. Because when you depend on the system, you can't be controlled by it. And control is the opposite of freedom. Because freedom is never the reward for moral innocence, it's the reward for moral responsibility, Shelby Steele. The more you rely on them for a check, the more you'll vote for that check. You'll vote for what they call empowerment and assistance. It's not about progress. It's not about excellence. It's about profit and power and your vote. And all that time you spend scrolling, start reading what makes you uncomfortable. Not 3-minute videos that enforce the cage around your mind. Slavery was psychological, not just physical. Stop pointing fingers and asking for regression packaged in a reparations check. Change your mindset.
Mic drop moment, dog. She said that shit. She said that shit. Our people so damn lost. Until the black man takes control of the black community and really stand up front and have representation, especially in the media, we're not gonna get this thing back on track, because women like what they hear. That's just how it is. Men don't operate like that. What have you done for me lately? It's a logical thing.
Okay, not to be messy, but I think it's time to have this conversation. And it's not funny, but as a black woman, it is tickling me. At what point do we stop having movements that are supposed to speak up for the minority, but they are led by a white person? At what point do we just stop doing that? Like, at what point do we stop supporting movements where white people are in leadership and the minorities are in the background, but it's supposed to be supporting minorities and marginalized voices? And what gets me is these people, they always turn out to be a closeted racist. They always turn out to be low-key sexist. They always turn out to be homophobic, transphobic, whatever cause they're speaking out against. They always prove to be the enemy. How many times are we going to do that? How many times are we going to have these movements that are led by white people who are really just on an ego trip? Like, y'all, that's why it tickles me, because y'all always find this out after you have given them hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then you always act hoodwinked, like, oh my god, I can't believe they weren't in it for the right reason.
I'm shaking my head not because of her coming to the idea of who white liberals really are. I'm shaking my head because she needs a black male leader to help shape her idea so that she can see things in a full purview versus based off of how she feel about shit. Because if she had that, she would understand that they've been promising us shit for the last 30-40 years and haven't delivered on nothing. So it's time to switch. It's time to go to where we may have some leverage and some pull. But I'm gonna let it keep ranting.
I think it's really sad that minorities in leadership, we have to tap dance and backflip, and we have to damn near beg y'all for support. We have to do things for free. We have to come out of our own pockets for our movements. And minority-led movements very seldomly get that same type of support, especially in that amount of time. Even the bigger movements that are led by minorities, it takes years for them to get that type of funding. And I'm seeing movements, 100K in 30 days. And then y'all are always bamboozled and hoodwinked that these people have ulterior motives. Y'all are always bamboozled and hoodwinked that they are not, in fact, real allies. And I'm new to this space, and I'm already seeing that, how black leaders are expected to do this back-breaking, emotionally taxing, mentally exhausting work for free, and white people show up loud and wrong, and y'all give them hundreds of thousands. And they always show those true colors by the way they treat minorities. Watch out for that, especially black women. The way they treat black women, they are not receptive of feedback. How you speaking for us, but you can't take our feedback? They escalate when they are criticized. The microaggressions, the condescension, it is always there, 100% of the time. Y'all ain't tired of doing that yet, but I think if somebody called y'all out, the ones supporting it and then being like, oh my God, I think it's time to call y'all out too, because it just further proves the biggest problem in this country, and that is y'all do not trust leadership unless it is tied to whiteness. Y'all do not trust leadership, even activism, unless it has a white face attached to it. And how many times are we gonna do that before we realize that it's collectively been our downfall?
Our women, black women, can't see the forest for the trees, dog. They can't see the forest for the trees. They so consumed with being led by how they feel about shit that they don't even stop and think. They don't even stop and look around and be like, damn, we've been doing the same song and dance, ain't got nowhere with these motherfuckers. Have you ever took a look at what you're attaching yourself to? You attach yourself to the LGBTQ transgender agenda, and you might be a fan of the nuclear family. You might want a husband that'll take care of you and the kids, and y'all build some real bonded, nuclear family thing that branches out into a healthy community because the men are there. But it is what it is.
No one is illegal on stolen land. One moment, please. Hey, hi, can I help you? Excuse me, can I help you? Excuse me, hi, can I help you? Hi, excuse me.
Yeah, well, we saw your comment on Instagram about no one being illegal on stolen land. Our house just got raided by ICE, so we're here to move in.
Oh.
Wait a minute. You're not one of those fake white people that just comments so they can feel better about themselves, and then when it comes to helping real people, you don't?
Because that would be messed up.
Yeah, I actually am one of those white people. Look, hey guys. It started out with Black Lives Matter, but I actually paid more money to get away from black people. And then it was Free Palestine for a little bit, but I'm not gonna go there. And then it was the same thing with the deportations. I spend so much time, I don't even have a job. I am on my computer all day long. I put my pronouns in my bio, any way to show solidarity with, anybody that I can. I put flags in there. Look, I'm sorry. I am. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry to set you up, man. I just got really tired of seeing those comments on Instagram, bro.
That's fair, that's fair.
So are you gonna stop posting your comments?
I learned my lesson. The president just put a travel ban on 5 countries.
I had to put that one in there, man, because we needed some satire to really show you like what it really is. Like, we gotta wake up. Black people, you gotta wake up. That's what this is. This is us needing to wake up. You know what? And they call it woke.
These white liberals are out of order in America. It don't make no sense how they act. Everywhere they go, they protesting or creating violence or trying to assassinate somebody. Or comment on somebody's video in a bad way online. What is wrong with these anti-Christ people?
Yeah, bro.
They ain't having the struggle that black people are having in their neighborhoods.
They're not, no.
They ain't got the legal immigration in their neighborhoods.
Nope.
They living in $1 million homes and got good jobs and good educations.
They living good.
And they
bro.
clowning. They act like the government owe them something. They done live good lives.
They're attaching their struggle on yours. They solidifying their shit.
What is wrong with the white liberals in America?
They're outsmarting us because we are led by women and they know how to placate to emotion and make something feel like it's right, even if it's all wrong. We using the old playbook to new modern ideas and modern enemies when it comes to this warfare that we're going through. It's a race. It's a race to the top and they trying to solidify their shit. That's why they attach their movements onto black people's backs and then have us run it down the road for them, like DEI.
Malcolm X once said that the white liberal is the biggest enemy to the black man.
This is gonna get weird. It's gonna get weird. I already know. You know what I'm saying? Like, why you gotta get a message? Like, why are you quoting Malcolm X? I don't understand this. This is gonna get weird. This is weird for me already. I don't understand this. It's like you're doing a thing that he warned us about. You know what I mean? Like you're that. I'll let her talk.
I didn't understand that quote fully for a long time, but now I see it clearer than day. I read something once that described this perfectly. I think it was Akala's book, Natives. This isn't verbatim, but it was something along the lines of liberals will cosplay as people with good values as long as it fits their aesthetic, but when push actually comes to shove and when things potentially are going to get ugly, they dip. I had a bit of an existential crisis recently because a lot of the lefty friends in my area aren't coming to the fundraisers that I've organised. They're not coming with me on protests. They're not coming with me on counter demos. A lot of their excuses for not attending these things is because their mental health is too poor, but they have seemed got the energy to go to pride events or festivals. And I'm not saying that these people are bad people, but if you're only ever showing up and showing off your lefty politics in person at things where it's all lollipops and rainbows, I don't think you're as much of an ally as you think that you are. It's all very well thinking, I'm against what's happening in the UK, I'm against rising fascism, I'm against racism, I want a liberated Palestine. But if you're only ever thinking those things and it's not relaying into actual, in real life action, you are just a lefty in theory and not in practicality. And I am a strong believer that you are only as good as your actions. And by the way, I know that there are lots of different ways that you can show your activism. If you're not going out to protest because you're scared of showing your face or whatever, maybe you're donating or something.
You see, she a Trojan horse. How you gonna start off with Malcolm X quoting that the white liberal is the black man's greatest enemy and then proceed to incorporate liberal ideas, liberal thoughts, liberal motives, liberal agendas?
Hope that you are. And a lot of the time, in fact more often than not, the excuses that these people give for not being at these actions is their mental health, which, I'm sorry, I just find that an absurdly privileged take. Going back to how I said a lot of them are still attending pride events, for example, I would bet my bottom quid that around the time of the Stonewall riots, these liberal types would have been nowhere to be seen. And this is kind of the point I'm trying to get to, is that you can't just decide that you're on board with something and start showing your face at something whilst other people have fought the fight to make it safe for you. That's another thing that keeps coming up with these excuses of, oh, I don't feel safe, I don't want to put myself in that position. And in reality, if you're white, you are safer than most in this country right now. When I go to these events, when I go to these fundraisers and the local demos and the larger demos up in London, I look around. Who am I largely surrounded by? People of colour, LGBT people, neurospicy people, or people who have known oppression. Back to the original Malcolm X quote that I started this video with. Why are white liberals so dangerous to the black man or to people of colour in general? Because they pretend to be allies. But when it comes to actually showing up, they disappear. I'm not making this video to talk down to anyone, to put myself on a pedestal. I'm saying this because I know that a lot of the white liberal lefty friends that I have do have good values, but I'm confused why you're not really acting on them. And just remember, the Nazis in World War II, it wasn't just the Nazis responsible for what happened to all of those people. It was also the bystanders who, for one reason or another, didn't get involved in stopping it. You are only as good as your actions, so ask yourself, are you doing enough?
Boy, these white liberal devils go to any length. They'll quote anybody. Malcolm X is specifically talking about her white ass, but she's quoting him and then trying to differentiate herself from other white liberals. I'm not that type of white liberal. I'm this type of white liberal. Listen, we're not attaching ourselves to none of that shit. I can't wait to see the look on their faces when most of the niggas start flipping to the right. Then what they gonna do?
Everybody shut the fuck up. Hey, shut the fuck up. Let me tell you something right now.
If you made it this far, check out the video we just did with viral therapist Jeff St. James, aka Ask a Brother Podcast, and the great Tommy Sotomayor tackle interracial dating and the biases black women have.